Raise your hand if you sell something. Keep your hand raised if sometimes that sales process happens through text message, direct message, private message, any type of messaging at all. Damn, I don't think I see a single hand go down. Cool, thank you. Who here has noticed that a lot of selling nowadays actually happens through texting of some sort? Yeah. Who here has ever closed someone without ever getting on the phone with them? Just text. Wow, a bunch of us. Yeah, it's cool. People don't really like getting on the phone that much anymore. Anyone, am I the only one who, when someone calls you, you go like, what the fuck, what's wrong with you? It's like my first thought. I'm like, really? It's 2019. So in my own company, this is something we've realized, and we do a lot of our high-ticket selling over the text, right? Instagram, DM, SMS, email, just back and forth, right? We call it playing hot potato. You guys remember that game when you were a kid, you played hot potato? Yeah. Right? How do you play? You throw me the potato, what's my job? Get rid of it as fast as I can, throw it back to you, right? Selling over text in any form, any type of messaging, is not about, it's not the same as selling as it is on the phone. When you're talking on the phone, sometimes, like especially during the presentation part, you have to like say a lot of words. Anyone here ever read a script and it's a lot of sentences and then you read it and by the time you're done, you're like, there's no way they're buying. I just spoke for like 2 minutes straight. Raise your hand if you ever made this mistake. Yeah, let's not do that, right? Right? Yelling is not selling. Talking, monologuing is not selling. Selling is usually questions. It's asking the right questions. When we play hot potato, right? I got the potato. I just throw it back to you with a quick question. And then you got to spend more time answering it, then you throw it back to me. And you know what I do? I ask you another question, and I throw it right back to you. By the time I'm done asking 3 or 4 or 5 questions, typically a decision is ready to be made, and I didn't really have to do much. All right, we have a system for this that we call the 6 little boxes. Raise your hand if I've taught you the 6 little boxes inside the mastermind or somewhere else. Keep your hand raised if you were like, the 6 little boxes are fucking amazing for selling. Yeah, I want you guys to notice every hand continues to raise. It is the best messaging, selling-based formula I have ever come across in my life. If you would like me to teach it to you now, please say yes. Yes! You guys sound certain to me. All right. So here's what I want you to do. Draw 6 little boxes just like you see me. There is an incredible little formula for how you reply to this stuff every single time. All right? And it looks like this. Ask, feel, and show. And it looks just like that. We ask, we feel, we show. So, when I say ask, I mean we said, tell me about your situation. That was the ask. Then they tell us about their situation. Now I am going to feel. Feel, I mean we acknowledge. Right? We demonstrate empathy. That's what I mean by feel. Meaning, I say, tell me about your situation. You go, dude, I'm stuck. I'm trying to make sales. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to do that. Shit is not working. How do I respond? I simply acknowledge them. If I just ignored them and I went to the next question, like imagine you told me all these problems and I was like, so what else have you tried? That'd be kind of weird. Right? So we just acknowledge. And we do it very briefly. We don't need a lot of time. Here's my form of acknowledgement. If you ever hear me saying, like in a conversation with you, like, oh yeah, totally, I'm just doing this to you, just so you know. I'm just kidding. Yeah, totally, right? Just one word that demonstrates we heard them, we saw them. That's it. And then we're gonna show. What are we gonna show? We're gonna show, let me show you we're gonna show know-how. What is know-how? Who could tell me? VIP, who could tell me? What's know-how? Expertise. Would you guys agree with that, yes or no? Yeah, know-how, like you know what the fuck you're doing in this vertical. So we're going to demonstrate know-how, and we're going to give know-how. Let that sink in for a second. We're going to show know-how, and I'm going to go really fast here because I know Joel's ready. So you guys, I'm trying to give as much as I can right now. We're going to show know-how and know-how. Too many times in the sales process, too many of you you're actually coaching the person or teaching them during the sales process. Don't do that. How do you make someone thirsty for what you have? You can take away stuff. You tease. You give them the what and not the how. Yesterday, I was like, you need offers, which is 100% true. And then I said, but how the fuck do you do that? And I said, copy. Is copy a how or a what? Light bulb go off? Yeah. So we're going to show know-how and know-how. How do we do that? Very, very simple. Usually, you just refer to a past client or a past case study or something. So you say, dude, I'm trying to make all these sales. No one's fucking responding to me. I don't know what to do, etc. I will say, gotcha, send. Had a client recently, very similar situation, send, took some work, send, but figured it out, send. That's it. Does that person who says that to you sound like they know what they're talking about? Yeah. Did they actually give you anything useful? No. Are you still interested in getting the answer, though? Damn. Cool. Right? And then what are we going to do? We have demonstrated empathy. We have shown know-how without know-how. What are we going to do next? Yeah, we're just going to go to the next little box. And that's how these 6 boxes work. It's like this. So if that's like that circle thing, just think about it like this. Between each box, all we are going to do is ask, feel, show. Ask, feel, show. Ask, feel, show. Does that make sense? Yes or no? Yes. Who is unclear about this? Raise your hand or forever hold your peace. Okay, good. Everyone's clear. So I get situation, we feel, we show, we ask again. What do we ask now? We ask the gap question. Whatever your industry is, your gap question might be different. In mine, because obviously I'm known as the high income expert, my industry is income. So I say, so where's your income at right now and where would you want it to be, say, 90 days from now? Where is your income at now? Where do you want it to be, I don't know, 90 days from now? What have I created? A gap. It's very hard to sell without there being a gap. Your prospect needs to realize there's a gap. They need to conclude. Remember I said yesterday, people resist what they're told, never doubt what they conclude? If I ask you, where are you at now, where do you want to be, and you answer, did I tell you there's a gap, or did you conclude it on your own? You concluded it. And now you cannot, it's irrefutable now, because I didn't put that in your head. I simply asked the question that was already, the gap was already there. I just asked a question that turned your head and made you go, oh shit, there is a gap. Most people walk around like fucking ostriches with their problems. Shoving their hand, they're just living with their head in the sand, pretending all this bad shit's not happening. Right? But if you're really good at selling, you're gonna ask the right questions that allow them to take their head out of the sand, look at the problem and go, you're fucking right, I got something here, I need help with this. Does that make sense, yes or no? Yes. So we good gap. And then what do you think we do after they respond and they tell us, okay, my income's here and I want it to be here? What do we do next? Knowledge. Yeah, that's what we do. We feel. We demonstrate empathy. We acknowledge again. I literally will just say, gotcha. I'll say it again. Copy. I like copy that a lot. Roger that. Copy that. Gotcha. Makes sense. Totally. For sure. Okay. That's it. Just some form of acknowledgement, and then I show more know-how. Usually another success story, or if they say their income was this and they want it to be that, I'll say, yep, I remember when my income was there, and then I remember when it took off and went here. It was awesome. So tell me, go to the next question. That's it. Does this seem really, really simple to you guys? Yes. Did you think selling is supposed to be hard? It's not. I promise you that. It's not. That funnel we were talking about yesterday, that high-ticket funnel I showed you, the war room funnel, that's done over $2 million. A huge part of that just happens from just text. Some of you, who here has ever been put through a cycle like this on my own Instagram from me on direct message? Raise your hand. Beautiful. There's a good number of you in here. Yeah. Did you guys realize you were being sold at the very beginning? Yes? No? Some no's, some yeses? Yeah. Did any of you feel high pressured in any of those situations, though? Not at all. Right? So we go gap. Next question. Very important question. The missing question. So they just told me their income is, it's bad. They want it to be good. And I said, great, I used to be there, I remember that, now I'm here. And so I feel, I show know-how, and then I go, so what do you think is missing? Very vague question. What do you think is missing? And then they tell me, I think I need this, I think I need this, and I think I need this. I have a shitty environment. I don't know how to get clients. My copy skills could need work. I know that they could be better too. I know if my copy was better, then I would be better also. They tell me all the stuff they're missing. When they tell me that, what are they really doing to themselves? They are diagnosing themselves for me. They're telling me what they think they need. If someone tells you what they think they need, how easy is it for you to then reflect back to them what they need? Are you going to have to convince them when you tell them back the exact same thing they just told you? No. This shit is easy. Let's not make it hard. So I go missing. Put them, ask, feel, show again. Then we go to our fourth question, probably my favorite question of the 6 little boxes, the need question, where I say, so, what do you think you need most from me right now? What do you think you need most from me right now? What is excellent about that question? What's that? They're telling us, yeah. They're also, what's the implication? That they need me. If you answer the questions, what do you think you need most from me right now? And you answer, you have passively accepted the frame that you need something from me. Yeah, I love light bulbs going off. My favorite. Yes, right? So now you're like, fuck, that's it. They've answered, they're done. They need you. Even if they don't buy today, 3 weeks from now, they're going to wake up and they're going to be like, oh, fuck, I need some help from that guy. Right? Maybe some traumatic event happened the day before. Now they're ready. You never know. But once they've answered this question, it's locked in. What do you think you need most from me right now? And the best part is, I've asked this question probably over 5,000 times in the last year. No one has ever said anything like, well, who says I need anything from you? Or, like, raise your hand if you thought someone might say that. You guys been programmed, man. We got to reverse that programming. Remember this, especially in selling and in life. Always let the marketplace reject you. Don't reject yourself. I want the marketplace to reject me. I want the prospect to tell me no. I want the world to tell me no, so long as it's not me that told me no. If you get that, say yes. Yes. Okay. Yeah, let the marketplace reject you. So what do you think you need? They tell me. And then what do you think I do after? I put them through the fucking laundry cycle. Yeah. Empathy. Show know-how with know-how. And then I ask again. Now this time, very important question, especially if you're going to make a sale. The priority question. We lock them into time, into urgency, into them admitting, yup, I need something fixed now. I say this. So I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this question, send, but I gotta ask at least, send, is getting this handled for you, I'll get to it later thing, or is it a priority? Now, after these 4 boxes already have been checked, what do you think the answer to that question? Priority. In part because they don't want to let you down. But now they've again publicly made a commitment to saying, I need help with this now. So 5 minutes later, when you throw them a life jacket and say, get on board, let me help you, can they say, let me think about it, I need more time? No. And even if they tried to, how easy is it for you to gently point out the fact that 3 seconds ago they just said they need help now? People, you guys ever heard people don't like being inconsistent with their own self-concept, their own self-image? It's the most painful thing in the world. People cannot do it. It rips their identity apart. They won't do it. They will rather be consistent with who they say they are. Always. Always. All the actions you take are always consistent with how you perceive yourself to be. Always. That's why new behaviors, new actions start to change your identity. That's what we've been talking about a lot here. Dude, light bulb's going off. Can we give him some applause for light bulbs going off in his head? Yeah. Yeah, come here. Yeah. Good man. Beautiful. Yes. And they say it's a priority. Now, at this point, just so you guys are aware, this doesn't really need to happen every single time. And a lot of times, I'll ask a gap question, and I'll get the missing answer along with the gap. Raise your hand if you've used the 6 boxes and this has happened to you also. Yeah, right? They'll fudge it, and that's fine. So if you ask gap and you get gap missing, you just go to the next one. Does that make sense, yes or no? Yes. Perfect. Right? And you've demonstrated a lot of empathy. You've shown a lot of know-how. Usually at this point, I don't need to keep showing know-how. How many times do you need to demonstrate to someone that you're valuable? A couple, and then they got it. Right? But you still feel, you always acknowledge, right? Always acknowledge them. That's the most important thing. So they tell me it's a priority, and I go, great to hear, awesome. something like that. And then the final box is we are going to swipe left or right. We're going to swipe left or we're going to swipe right. Raise your hand if you have ever been on Tinder or Bumble. A lot of hands in here. I saw a comedian a few weeks ago. He said Tinder was like the clearance rack for humans. That was savage. All right, that's savage right there. That was one of the funniest things I've ever heard. It's the clearance rack. I didn't say it, he did, all right? Jeez. Swipe left or swipe right, but on Tinder, on Bumble. Not that I've ever been on there. In fact, a few people impersonated me in Australia for some reason, and some Australian girl messaged me on Instagram with screenshots of me saying that we matched on Tinder, and she was really disappointed that it wasn't actually me, which was weird, very weird. Yeah. So we're gonna swipe left or swipe right. Meaning, when you're on Tinder and Bumble, let's say you're on Tinder and you're going through, a picture comes up, what are you doing? You swipe left or you swipe right? You swipe left, what does that mean? No thanks. You swipe right, what does that mean? Yes, please, right? Yeah. So in selling, there's this old concept that you somehow are lower status, the person you're selling to is higher status, and you need to impress them, and if they're even the slightest bit interested in working with you, you should compromise a lot of your life and your values and your boundaries just to make this sale. Who here has ever compromised some shit in your own life just to make a sale? Keep your hand raised if you look back on it now and go, that was a stupid fucking decision. Yeah, it never works. One, it never works. Two, it's not good for your fucking self-esteem. And three, you're gonna resent the fucking prospect the whole time, so you won't even be able to help them anyways. 51% of your brain will be on resentment when you're talking to them, only 49% will be on helping them. No one's winning this way. You as the person who is selling, you have the solution. They have the problem. I don't know what world you grew up in, but the world I grew up in, where someone has a problem and someone else has the magic solution, usually the person with the magic is in the driver's seat. Does that make sense? You're in the driver's seat. They're in the passenger seat. So it's your choice if you're going to work with them or not. It's not their choice. So based on their answers to these questions, like for me on the gap question, I get to find out their income. So I have an idea if they can afford my packages, right? So for me, my criteria is very, very simple. 3 questions. Do I like them? Can I help them? Can they pay? That's it. Like, help, pay. Do I like them? Can I help them? Can they pay? I will not work with someone I don't like. One bad apple will ruin a whole bunch. I've worked with clients in the past I did not like, and I fucking hated it. I will never do it again. Can I help them? Who here has ever taken on a client that you couldn't help, you weren't sure, but you needed the money? Yeah, how'd that feel? It can work sometimes if you're like, it forces you to learn a new skill in like 3 days real quick, but generally speaking, not a good place to be, right? So I want to make sure I can actually help them. And then, can they pay? Right, can they pay? So that's what I'm looking for. If they check all 3 of those boxes, I'm going to swipe right on them. And I'm going to say something like this. Awesome. All right, awesome. So based on everything you just told me, send. I think you're going to be a really, really good fit. Send. And this is if I'm closing in text, right? They're going to be a really good fit. Send. Would you like me to tell you how we might go about fixing that really quickly? Question mark. So I get permission to sell them, and they say yes, and then I send them a quick little block with like, here's what it is, here's what it does for you, here's how much it costs, here's why you want to buy now. Like that's how if we sell over text. I prefer to go from message to phone, quick 10-minute phone call sale. Here's how I do that. This is the simple one. This is the one I want you guys to remember. So if I'm going to swipe right, here's what I say. Copy that, send, want some help, send. That's the whole close. Want some help. Want some help with that. I spend so much time trying to figure out like what's the right thing to say, like to transition from these diagnostic questions to actually closing. Tried all this stuff. Simplest one is always the best. Just want some help with that? It's so soft. It's so subtle. They go, yeah. Right? And then I go, great. Here's what we're going to do. You and I are going to hop on a quick brainstorm call. Send. Should be about 10 minutes. Send. We'll talk about more in depth where you're at, where you want to go, and what's in the way. Send. And then we'll put a plan together, knock it out. Send. Sound good? Question mark? Yes. Send? Great. Here's a link, book a time, done. Why would a millionaire show you how to have a full-time paycheck without having a job at all? It's because I just wrote my brand new book. It's called Screw Jobs. It's totally free, no strings attached. You hit the link below. You can download it for free right now in 2 seconds if you want. And here's the thing. See, I have never had a job in my entire life, yet I became a millionaire when I was 24 years old. In the last 12 months, I've helped over 150 people from over 60 countries begin to earn a full-time income as well without having a job. This is the digital age. We don't need jobs to live life on our terms and do the things that we want. So if you want to get my brand new book, it's completely free for the rest of today. Just hit the link below. You'll get it in literally less than a minute. And part of this book, by the way, was dedicated to my college professor who told me I would never amount to anything. So if there's anyone in your life doesn't believe in you, doubts you, says you can't do it, get this book and let's show them what you truly are capable of.